My name is Lily, and this story begins on a cold winter morning when my mother quietly slipped away. She had been fighting a serious illness for nearly 2 years, always with quiet courage and a smile for anyone who visited. But no matter how much you expect it, nothing truly prepares you for the moment the person who raised you is no longer there. I was sitting beside her bed in our family home, where we had moved her for her final days, so she could be surrounded by familiar things. Snow was falling softly outside, blanketing the garden in white, and the room was warmed by the glow of a small fireplace. Her hand was frail in mine, but she held on with surprising strength for one last moment. "Lily, my darling," she murmured, her voice barely above the crackle of the fire. "There's something I've kept safe for you, something very special." She reached slowly under her pillow and drew out a sealed cream-colored envelope. It was old and elegant, with slightly worn corners and tied with a faded blue ribbon. A small red wax seal kept it closed, like a secret from another time. "What is it, Mom?" I asked, my throat tight with emotion. She gave me that warm, knowing smile, the same one that had calmed my fears since I was little. "It's my hidden legacy for you," she whispered. "Open it only when you feel ready, and vow to me that you'll follow whatever path it shows." "I vow, Mom. I promise," I said, tears falling freely now. She nodded weakly, squeezed my hand once more, and whispered, "You've always been my light. I love you." Then her eyes closed, and the room grew still. In the days that followed, grief consumed me. I wandered through the house, touching her favorite chair by the window where she used to read, flipping through her old recipe book filled with notes in the margins, and listening to the silence where her laughter used to fill the air. Friends and family visited, bringing flowers and kind words. But the envelope sat untouched on the mantelpiece. I wasn't ready to face it. Whatever it held felt like the final goodbye I couldn't bear. Weeks passed in a blur. I revisited old memories, childhood summers at the lake where she taught me to swim, late-night talks when I was heartbroken over my first love, and the way she always encouraged my dream of becoming a writer, even when money was tight and she worked 2 jobs. One snowy evening, about a month later, I finally felt a spark of strength. I lit the fireplace, made her favorite chamomile tea, and sat down with the envelope. My fingers trembled as I broke the wax seal and untied the ribbon. Inside were 4 precious items. First, a faded photograph of my mother in her 20s, standing outside a small art studio, paintbrush in hand and a bright smile on her face. On the back, she had written, "Never give up on your dreams, Lily. Art was mine, and writing is yours." Second, her favorite silver locket, the one she wore every day. Opening it revealed a tiny picture of us together on my graduation day, engraved inside, my proudest moment. Third, a small ornate brass key with intricate carvings, no hint of what it opened. And fourth, a thick letter in her beautiful looping handwriting. I unfolded it and read through tears. "My dearest Lily, if you're reading this, I'm no longer by your side, but know that my love surrounds you always. Life wasn't always easy for us. I worked long hours, missed some of your school events, and sometimes we struggled. But every choice I made was to give you wings. I never told you about my own unfinished dreams. As a young woman, I wanted to open a little community center for children, a place for reading, art, and learning. I saved quietly for years, planning every detail. This key opens a safety deposit box at our old bank, number 247. Inside, you'll find the savings I set aside, along with my sketches, plans, and notes for that center. It's not a fortune, but it's enough to start something meaningful. My wish is that you use it to chase your own dreams, or perhaps even build something in my memory. Let it remind you that you are strong, talented, and deeply loved. Carry my love with you every day. You were and always will be my greatest achievement. Forever, your mom. The next day, with the letter clutched in my hand, I went to the bank. The clerk led me to the vault, and with shaking hands I inserted the key. The box opened to reveal a folder of detailed drawings for the community center, a journal of her ideas, and an envelope with savings bonds and cash, more than I expected. But the real treasure was her vision. Pages describing programs for kids like me who grew up without much, classes in writing and art, a safe space to dream. Over the following months, inspired by her legacy, I began turning her dream into reality. I found a small building, gathered volunteers, and named it Mama's Haven. On opening day, I hung her photograph in the entrance and read her letter aloud to everyone. Her hidden legacy wasn't just the money or the plans. It was the proof that her love and dreams lived on through me. Even in her final days, she was guiding me toward a brighter future. Thank you for listening to this heartwarming story. Remember, a mother's love never truly leaves us. It becomes the strength we carry forward. Questions for listeners. Which part of the mother's legacy touched you the most? If you could leave a hidden gift for someone you love, what would it be? What important lesson about love and dreams did this story teach you? If you enjoyed this story and want more English listening practice, please like this video, subscribe to English Easy Voice, turn on notifications, and share it with your friends. Thank you for listening. See you in the next story.